And speaking of streams, here we are now on Pride of Altaris LE. We're in the bottom right-hand corner map, sweating all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. We have the Blues player coming down from the land of Korea. You know, and we know, yeah, he's had a really great Yuletide this year, thanks to all that moolah he won last week. Now he's looking to get even more, you know, for New Year's and whatnot. Representing KZ Gaming, KZG, he is Sola.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pride of Altaris LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the ex-military Protoss representing Alpha X. It is Classic.
I love him so much already.
See, we just know, mate. We just know what series to like follow, where it leads us, and it leads us into nonsense, and that's what we're all about here on the CranKy Ducklings.
Yeah, get out of here with your sense.
Here with your build orders. By the way,
we have sequences of builds. Way different.
Mate, we have a forge. By the way, it's a gate forge opener from Classic. He scouts, he confirms there is no base. It's here, it's at the gold, and boom, just like that, Classic is here to deny it.
I was actually wondering about this. Isn't the Gateway Forge pretty much the heart counter to going for the gold first?
Pretty much. That's why I'm shocked that Solo's pulling the boys. Like, this is so much lost mining time. He has to deny this, otherwise it's not going to be worth it.
And he has the surface area.
Yeah.
4 drones on top of that cannon, and sure, he lost a little bit of mining time earlier, but he's got a gold base now.
Oh my god, the creep was coming in just in time as well. Classic, it took him a little bit too long to recognize what was happening, and that was such a smart move there for Solo to deny, to pull the boys like that. Again, the creep denied any more cannons from being thrown down, and Solo's held. I mean, this Zealot is still being annoying. Like, very nice micro here from Classic.
Yeah, we'll say that Solar has held, technically, but it's going to be a little while before he can really get comfortable mining. The boys are pulled, and with that, there we go. Now, Solar is nice and comfortable. He's stable on his gold base.
Yeah, at least Classic was able to get 2 drone kills, and again, force some lost mining time, but the boys were going to be pulled anyway to mine from the gold. Again, very nice response from Solar there. Very clutch as well. I don't know if you noticed, but I like that creeping spread. Like, oh god, it was so crucial to deny more than 1 cannon. And now Classic is a little bit behind because of his opener.
You know what he needs right now? It's a gold base.
You're not wrong, mate. You're not wrong. He, like, big brain is like, he backs off and Classic just starts throwing down cannons here prematurely at the gold so he can actually get it up and running.
He doesn't even throw down Nexus yet.
Yeah.
He throws down the cannons in preparation for it.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. Oh god, but yeah, like Classic isn't out of this, but again, just behind from the opener. He is transitioning into a Stargate, and you know, you can always make magic happen with Stargates. Ooh, this shield battery is a little bit late. That forge is getting a little bit low.
Yeah, I feel like that Stargate right now is a little bit greedy coming out from Classic, but to be fair, Solar isn't, you know, trying to attack the Zelda at the moment. Does mess up the forge a little bit, but is unable to find a way in.
Yeah, just applying some pressure to Classic, forces Classic to throw down additional pylons here to keep everything powered in case the bus come in, and that shield battery as well. Just resources that Classic didn't want to spend. Like, he was being greedy, cutting a bunch of corners to go into a faster Stargate. He's still being greedy, by the way. Off of 1 Stargate, he goes into a Fleet Beacon.
For Tempest.
Probably.
Yeah, may as well.
Yeah. Again, like Classic, like he's
so far.
Like he needs he needs to tech up as quickly as possible, so I don't blame him. Void Ray comes out. This will not get scouted, so already a great move from Classic. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he does decide to go for Tempest or Carrier first.
I actually do think that trying to rush out Flux Veins right now isn't a terrible idea. I mean, you know, for starters, you have a little bit of defense against all these Zerglings, and for seconds, is that a term? people use. And after defending against the Lings, he can always use them to try to snipe a base or two, which he desperately needs right now. But instead, Classic is being a Chad, and he goes for double Tempest.
He knows you're casting. He knows you're in the lobby.
Yeah,
He's
boy.
like, mate, that Yaku is always memeing about Tempest. Let's have some fun, mate. Let's go.
Always memeing about my chin.
Everyone does, mate. Everyone does. But again, like this is Classic cutting a bunch of corners. So what you're saying isn't wrong. Like he could have been continuing to pump out Void Rays and Golden Flux Veins on the way, right? And then he would have a stronger army. But right now, he's just avoiding all those Void Rays, trying to get Tempest out as quickly as possible, and try and catch Solar off guard. Because with Tempest, as they get scouted, feels bad, man. Tempest can siege away, kill Queens, and very quickly kill a hatchery.
Yeah, what's the anti-air situation looking at like right now for Solar? Getting a Spire, but it's still on the way. Flux Veins is not being neglected for Classic. Love to see it.
Exactly. I love that. Again, when you open up Tempest like this, you don't commit to the Tempest. You only get a handful of them, and then you back off, and then you get Void Rays out quickly. These Tempests are trying to get some damage, and they get a couple of drones, but right now it's a dance that they're having with the Queens, as Classic is distracting them and getting this third base up and running. But I am concerned about that Spire.
I'm not, because that's a gold base coming out from Classic. Deflect just about anything Solar can throw his way. Unfortunately, he's unable to find any dead air that can really lay siege to this base of Solar, but as he was saying, the main thing right now for Classic is just to keep him distracted.
Oh god, no, Tempest! Oh, it gets caught out! No!
Heights is dead air! Wow.
Jesus
That's gonna get pounced on by the Corruptors immediately.
Yeah, like the miss rally there by Classic. He almost loses a Tempest for free, which would have been devastating. And now the Tempests are deep in enemy territory. There we go. Corruptors come out immediately. They do get saved by the recall. And now Classic is well aware of the Corruptors, and he needs to pump out as much anti-air as possible.
Which is going to be Void Rays for the most part. He's going to try to get a couple of Stalkers, it seems, to support them, but yeah, he's very much relying on the Void Rays and these Tempests right now. Also, when it's all said and done, after all that harass, Classic got 5 drones.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there were just so many Queens, so many Transfuses. I mean, you saw, like, the Queens just refused to die.
They really did.
Solar was just on top of that micro. You could argue maybe Classic should have tried to go for a different base instead of the gold base and maybe found more success. And I think I would agree, but at the same time, I understand the need to kill that gold. Meanwhile, oh my god, the Corruptors are just zoning out the army. Oh.
They were zoning out the Tempest for a while, but the Void Rays do come in, and that's a lot to worry about right now when you don't have Queens to support them. But now he does, and actually these Biles are starting to land.
The Biles are starting to land. GG gets called, and Solar will take game 1.
That's what happens when you get the gold.
It's what happens when you have a rough start. Like the cannon rush that didn't do anything really hurt him, and on top of that, the Tempest that only got 5 drone kills. Like, you do expect those Tempests to do a little bit more.
Yeah, for the most part, Classic, as much as Classic did have a rough start there. Oh. Okay, switch this race. As much as Classic did have a rough start there, I do feel like he could have done more to recover.
Yeah.
I did feel like he was tunnel visioning a little on that gold. Yeah,
you were talking about, like, unfortunately there was no, like, dead space around that gold base to abuse. You know, there was a bit of dead space outside the natural that he could have abused, you know? Like, there's...
even the main base.
Yeah, even the main, right? There are other places that he could have gone that would have made it more awkward for those Queens to really keep up. And then he could have dealt some actual substantial damage, but unfortunately, didn't happen.
That it did not, but that was game 1. This is game 2, and we are in 2,000 atmospheres. LE, fun fact, this is how Santa is able to zoom around so quick. Have the insider information here with the power of Blink-182, you know. In the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue player coming down from the land of Korea. He is going to be representing KZ Gaming. KZG! He is the Winter Sun. He is Solar.
And spawning in the top right hand corner of 2000 atmospheres LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player. He is red, representing Alpha X. Currently down in the series but not out, it is Classic.
I have to wonder if Blink-182 did any Christmas stuff.
Somebody once told me to
Wait, that's Smash Mouth.
They're all the same, right?
Trek is a great Christmas movie.
It's the best Christmas movie, mate. My god.
It's up there with Scream 2.
Die Hard, man. Die Hard.
Die Hard. Apparently Germans get confused with that movie.
Why do they get... Is it named differently in Germany?
They're like, what is... Because they wonder what's hard.
Awful, man. Who am I casting with for sure's? What was that? Oh my god.
I came up with that independently. And I'm disappointed in myself.
Oh no. 2022 can't come fast enough, mate. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Oh god. Give me strength, mate. As I was about to say, like, Die Hard, I feel like that's probably most known for being like the most iconic Christmas movie, right? Everyone always says that, like, yo, what's the best Christmas movie? It's Die Hard. Of course. Are there others? I was trying to think of other, like, unrelated Christmas movies, you know, that just happen to be around
Nightmare
Christmas.
Before Christmas count?
That's like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Is it a Halloween movie or?
True. Is it a Christmas movie? Is it? That's a good question.
I watch it a lot in Christmas. Gotta be honest there.
True. Home Alone. Is the first one are they both during Christmas?
I think there are like 7 Home Alones, but yeah, the first 2 are on Christmas.
Look, no one cares about 3+, okay? Or they only care about the first 2, alright?
The second is better than the first.
Oh.
That's my hot take.
Is it hot? I mean, it was more popular, I feel. But,
Listen.
Oh god, as we get into this game, everything's pretty standard. There was no Forge opening, it was a Stargate, you know, we have a Void Ray coming out. The next question is, how many Oracles?
I'm gonna say at least 2. That's what I'm feeling at the moment. I would like to see some Mass Oracle come out.
Oh, I would like to see that as well. We do see that be very map dependent nowadays. But the first Oracle is zooming out across the map. It is spotted by an Overlord, so Solar should be able to be ready in time. I mean, we already have a Spore here. Queen pops out just in the nick of time for this Oracle. Oh my god.
And Classic just pounces. Doesn't even waste his time with Stasis Ward. He just goes straight for the jugular, and he is able to pick off 2 drones, 3 drones even. Wow.
Yeah, not bad.
Oracle.
Like, this Void Ray dealt a surprising amount of damage. Like, the Queens, unfortunately, were in the wrong position. They were here at the third base, trying to catch the Void Ray as it escapes. But the Void Ray is still perfectly fine. Oracle dips back in. Almost gets another drone.
But does have to back away.
Solo wants it, mate. He wants it.
Or to live.
He wants it. No, the Queen's aren't far out enough. They were so close. Oh god!
Literally turned the other direction, but Classic decides to give them a little bit of a nudge.
Oh my god!
That wall is not a wall! That unfortunately just not thick enough, and all of these adepts, all these Zerglings get a great scout. A couple of adepts are forced to be worked into, which is less than ideal.
Exactly, a probe died, a free scout confirms that it is going to be Skytoss. It's going to be the quote-unquote cancerous form of Skytoss with the forge for cannons and stuff. But actually, I love this. After the links were dealt with, +1 starts here for Classic.
Yeah, so not a full commitment into into Sky Toss here. Despite getting +1 weapons, he is going to transition to more of a ground focus army, at
Yeah.
least for the mid game. You don't get +1 air weapons if your endgame is the Sky Toss.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to go for a more hybrid style. Meanwhile, he's making use of those adepts that he was forced to warp in. They get behind the mineral line, and they do get a scout of the Spire.
Not only that, but quite a number of drone kills too. God damn.
Yeah, the target fire is on point here, and Solar was kind of, again, not respecting these adepts as much as he should have. 6 drones go down. Very nicely done. Like, overall, he has been able to keep Solar's worker count in check.
And it's definitely something he really needs to do. Solar, despite there not being a gold base in this map, has played this out as greedy as he possibly could. Pretty early 3 hatch and so many drones as well.
Yeah, speaking of greed, like, I have to say the same about Classic. This madman, when the Ling run by hit, there's no cannons, there's no shield batteries, there's nothing at the third, there's nothing at the natural either. Like, he is cutting so many corners just to, again, tech up. He's switching into Phoenixes.
Just in case they're mutas. Yeah.
I mean, he did got the spite. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna need to clip that moment and keep it as high.
Can I put it on lip when I go to bed?
Yeah.
Oh god, but we'll see how this goes. I'm really concerned because Solar is massing a very large amount of roaches, and again, like, I just look at the defensive position, where are the shield batteries? You know, like, this third is looking naked right now.
I love the thinking process right now here for Classic. He sees a Ling run by come his way. Hasn't quite seen this push, but yeah, he decides, you know what? I don't need Static Defense. What I need is another base.
Yeah, he gets a 4th, which isn't saturated because, again, that'd be incredibly greedy to do so. His Phoenixes are going to see this. He sees the mass amount of Queens and the highway that's on the way, but it may be too late. Like, we need more than just 2 shield batteries that are exposed. Because Solar's... Yeah, Solar's gonna have the high ground as well. Like, he could just ignore this and go into the natural. There's only a single shield battery there.
Which is exactly what he's trying to do at the moment. I feel like these Phoenixes at the back could still try to crowd control these Queens, but it's gonna be tough either way.
It really is, as the main army of Solar's pushing on forward. The Void Rays are trying to dance as best they can. In come the Phoenixes as well, and we will have an overcharge to support this army. Like, this is still looking maybe okay for Classic. The Tempest comes out.
Yeah, honestly, half of Solar's army is fighting within shield battery range, but the other half does break through into the natural base. Tempest is helping out a lot, actually.
Yeah.
From the back.
Exactly, and Solar doesn't have Lings to flood in. Like, honestly, like, a wave of 10 Lings going into the mineral line would have been huge. But because it's just Road Ravager, he's having a really hard time, like, gaining ground. And he's being split up. He keeps, like, trying to push towards the third, then the natural. It's a little bit messy.
Yeah, at the moment, Classic really hasn't sustained much economic damage. He lost the Gateway, and he lost his Cybercore, which is a little worrisome, but he hasn't lost too many probes yet, and he hasn't lost any of his bases. He's starting to lose them now.
The Biles...
Chrono Boost in 4 bases, I think he's gonna be fine.
The Biles connected and 3 Void Rays just died. I was about to say that Classic was giving that army too much room, and somehow the Roach Ravager got past the Void Rays, even though there were only 2 Queens, and got into the mineral lines. 11 probes went down. Void Rays went down as well. I thought Classic was going to hold a little bit better than that. But regardless, he did hold, and he gets away with that 4th base.
Yeah, now he's starting to saturate it. He can always Chrono Boost if he needs more probes. He's trying to go for a counterattack right now, which usually I think it's fine, but now Solar has a really nice army of Corruptors out.
Yeah.
And as you're saying, losing 3 Void Rays to Biles is basically crippling him.
Exactly. We do have prismatic alignments being activated there, but there are only a handful of Void Rays, and as soon as that runs out, the Corruptors are going to be diving in. They do have to avoid these Archons, but I mean, there are only 2 Archons that are going to be zoning them out, and the Corruptors don't necessarily care.
Funnily enough, I think the most worrisome unit right now for Solar are these Zealots.
True.
Because there's no easy way for him to deal with them, and once the ground army's cleared up, these Archons are going to have free reign on the Corruptors. Solar wants to get a base. He's setting up an ambush for his Corruptors right now. Does he have enough?
Oh god, he wants a Void Ray. He will get the Void Ray. He avoids the Archons. No, the Archons, they do get juked, and now everything in the sky is going to go down. Only a single Void Ray remaining, and with Overcharge, it barely survives. Oh my god, the Void Ray just refuses to die. But all the other high-tech units went down. The Tempest went down.
Man, my heart sinks every time I see a Tempest go down to Corruptors just like that. And so your Corruptors are still plenty of them to worry about, and Caustic Spray? Caustic Spray? Caustic Spray! But at a bit of an awkward position, I'll have to say.
Yeah. The Corruptors are not going to find too much more damage. They're going to try and catch a Void Ray, but no. Instead, they get caught by an Archon. But you can argue that Solo's already found some damage. Exactly. Oh my god. The Red Traveler is looking for some kind of damage, and finally Solar is going to scout the 4th base. I actually didn't know it was there.
Lack of static defense is finally gonna, Lack of static defense is finally gonna punish Classic here.
Yeah, a little bit, mate. Overcharge was used earlier. The Zealots are putting in a lot of work, but the Red Ravager is kiting, and it will eventually clean up all of these Zealots. The Corruptors, they have been thinned out quite a bit, but the Red Ravager, my god.
Still plenty of them. These Biles keep connecting. That's the second Archon that just gets sniped out of the ground by these Biles. Baneling speed is finally being researched, and a lot of Banelings are on the way too.
Yep.
I think Solo's got this.
Yeah. You were talking about how the Zealots were kind of the real MVP earlier, but Banelings are going to make short work of those Zealots, especially because Baneling speed is going to finish up in a couple of seconds. We only have a single cannon here. Finally, we have more side defense. But, I mean, there's a world where maybe the Archons soak the damage? Up!
Oh, well, they're not soaking the damage, but they are trying to snipe. The Zealots are split up really, really well, all things considered, but the probes, unfortunately, are not. And in the end, there are just too many Banelings and too much Zerg for Classic to really contend with.
Yeah, exactly. The Queens are waddling in as well to help deal with all these Void Rays. Very nice control with said Void Rays. But now, oh my god, the Immortals are so exposed. There's nothing to keep them alive. They're being targeted down one after the other, and the Queens have finally joined in with their transfuse. They shouldn't die. Up. One of them gets picked off, but it doesn't even matter, mate.
Yeah, with their transfuse, with their anti-air, these Lings completely bypass the base so they can join the fight.
Exactly. In the fourth.
That's how confident Solar is right now.
Pretty much, mate. Finally, the 4th base falls. And from here, Solar, he can just keep on going. Archons are being morphed in. So, again, like Classic, he isn't out yet. He's still trying to hold on as best he can with what little he has. But, again, he does only have a little.
But he's making a lot of that little.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But he only has a little.
Oh god, the Banelings roll into the mineral line. The overcharge is not going to last long enough as it gets sniped by those Biles, and GG gets called. Solar takes the series.
Man. I really thought Classic was looking good today, but Solar just kind of had his number. I don't really think that there was too much wrong going on there from Classic, at least from a decision-making standpoint, at least in game number 2, but Solar just responded better, I think. Macroed harder.
Yeah, I mean, game 1 was a bit of a shame, right? Like, I loved what Classic was doing, you know, punish the gold with a cannon rush, but it didn't really work out, right? He couldn't execute that cannon rush well enough in the end. He wasn't expecting boys to be pulled. I'm sure he just expected Solar to cancel it and just take another base. So that really caught him off guard, and Solar was just in control after that. Game 2, well, it was more back and forth, but again, like, in the end, Classic was punished for his greed, you know, like taking those 400 minerals in that invested into that Nexus could have been in static defense to fortify his natural and 3rd base, and he would have had a much easier time defending that, and then slowly expanding and taking your 4th, right?
I think this is the reason why we see more Protoss players when they do go for the style. They expand very slowly.
Oh yeah.
They still want to get to 4 bases, but they get that 4th base a lot later.
Pretty much, mate. Pretty much.